Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, we're going to start this off the right way. Got Al Green going in the background, and this song is going to play throughout the entire video. So if you ain't ever heard this song before, I want you to know that this song is properly entitled, Look at What You've Done to Me, because that's what the system's going to be saying. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to turn Al down just a little bit because I do know that the volume adjustment, different computer, but this song has been on my mind for the last week. So I'm going to explain to you guys what's been happening and what's going on. And the reason why I had to tell y'all that I wasn't going to do no more videos. It wasn't that I didn't want to do videos, it's that I was planning something and I needed to focus on that. But I came back and I told y'all, I said, hey, y'all need to pay attention to this stuff. I said, you need to pay attention to this stuff. You need to, if you're trying to survive, if you're trying to figure the system out, you need to pay attention. Some of y'all didn't pay attention. Some of y'all only watched about 5-7 minutes of it because you couldn't take it. Let me explain something to you people. That's right, I said you people. Ross Perot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in some very interesting times, as many of you have been seeing for yourself. I got started with all of this when I was about 6 years old. My father was one of Jehovah's Witnesses and studied the Bible with us, and the portion of the Bible that we were going over was in a book called My Book of Bible Stories. And it got to the point about the law and Moses being given the law and the tablets. And from there I understood about God's law and how a law requires obedience. And from there, I started learning about binding contracts, because all a law is a contract, people. A law, if you're not under that law, in other words, subject to the law by way of a contract, then that law does not apply. Now, some people have been going and yelling, that don't apply to me because I ain't part of that contract. And they don't know what they're talking about. But I understood something about contracts, binding agreements, because the Bible has three major covenants that it talks about. Now, of course, many of you guys know about the law covenant given to Moses, the 613 laws. That's called the Old Covenant, or what some of you refer to as the Old Testament. That's the word testament, means covenant. I know you think it means testimony. No, it doesn't. It means covenant, because that's what the covenant was. That's why Moses was to take the covenant and place it in the, what did they call it? Testimony. Okay? That's where the term comes from, people. I didn't make it up. All right, anyway, then you had the so-called New Covenant, or what's referred to as the New Law Covenant. Now, there are several other covenants, but the other covenant after that is the Kingdom Covenant. Okay, know about these things. Known about them for quite some time. So I've known about this whole law thing because you have the book of Leviticus, the book of laws, Deuteronomy, the book of law, which is technically second book, but that's what the names mean. Go ahead and look it up. You'll see that they're both law books. When you hear about a Jewish lawyer in the past, such as Paul, he was just a scholar on the Jewish law. That's all. He was a lawyer. All right, so the thing was, I needed to figure out, I see this system we're living in, they have all these laws. And then when I learned that, these law books fill entire rooms, And sometimes law books fill entire buildings. How in the world can anybody obey all of those laws? And who would be stupid enough to sign up under all of those laws? Hey, Al, I'm going to let you say it, but you let me say it first because I'm talking about it, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go. Well, at first, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to let you guys know. We have redesigned the SATCOM website, and many of you may or may not have been here to the site. The download section, when we put the information up that we're going to be talking about tonight, when we put, and it is nighttime, people, it is 5:48 p.m., which is actually, 5:40 p.m., which is actually 6:40 p.m., because today is daylight saving time. Ain't nobody saving no daylight. All the daylight happened the same as it always happened. And I don't know where we're putting it at and how we're storing it, but I can't seem to save it, y'all. I'm trying to make it last forever, and it ain't happening. Key Sweat. Anyway, let's get back to this. The SATCOM website has been redesigned, everyone. And if you notice, this is the home page. You got the About Us page, the Our Programs page. Now, what I want is for those of you who have a little bit of sense, because not all of y'all got sense. No, yeah, I said it. Now, you're just going to have to hold on to it and then let it go. Okay? Uh-oh, my connection ain't up to speed, y'all. So it's telling me we can't get where we need to go. It says I ain't got no internet. I got internet. I'm at 600 and some odd kilobytes. Doing better with internet right now than I was doing an hour ago. All right, we're going to let it do a little diagnostic because I do know that it was probably going to do this, but I want to show y'all something on the programs page. So we'll let it do a diagnostic thing. And once it finishes the diagnostic thing, then we can move on. Okay, so let me. Yeah, it's already doing a diagnostic, but I don't see it. Well, let's go to this one. Come on. Hey, I don't want that one. I want this one. This is actually a video, and I like it. It's just an added feature to, this is called EEON'S, I believe it's EEON'S. I don't know how to spell the name. Yeah, Yandex. Well, anyway, this is just the backdrop for its little web browsers. And so I don't mind that being the background. They have several, but this one I want it because, the traffic, the automobiles, that type of thing. It reminds me of the Harbor and 105 interchange. Even though this ain't the Harbor and 105 interchange, it reminds me of it a lot. All right. Anyway, let's get back to our conversation. Don't want to get distracted. Al, you keep talking about look what you've done to me. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the SATCOM website has been redesigned. A lot of work has gone into that. Shortly after we put up the files that we're going to be talking about tonight, the files concerning the arbitration, what we refer to as the arbitration process. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, Al, I'm going to say it. I don't want you to say it. He's telling y'all he wants to say it. No, I want to say it. He's saying he's going to forget. He ain't going to forget. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a case that I was helping somebody on. And I came into the case after somebody else had filed some documents talking about sovereign citizen and this and that. And so I came into the case after that, after the damage had already been done, and the guy who was helping with the case had been sent to jail because he did something in the case that was illegal. He sent paperwork into the court that was illegal. I have no idea why he thought he could do what he thought he was doing. So I come into the case and basically, let's just say nothing went right. So the court has been treating me as if I'm the other guy and still trying to come at us with that dumb stuff about sovereign citizen stuff. So I told them basically this: fine, you can call us whatever you want. But according to you, even if we were sovereign citizen, and there's no evidence on anybody's record to prove such, but even if we were, does that mean sovereign citizens don't have rights? That they don't have a right to access the court? So the judge ruled against us. Now, let me tell you how well the judge ruled against us. The judge ordered that the person I was helping pay $400. Okay? That's it. The judge could have simply have dismissed the case, but he ordered $400. He could have ordered them to pay thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, but $400. Why? Because they simply couldn't just let the case go after all the points that I raised. So they had to do something. And so what they did, they decided to order somebody pay $400 and some dollars. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me make sure that you guys understand. There were 3 parties to the case. They ordered all 3 parties to pay a total sum of $400. Because it ain't had nothing to do with no stupid case or no stupid filing, and this was all over not a bankruptcy, but a foreclosure. But because I raised certain points, they couldn't just let the case go. They had to make it look like there was some validity in the case in the first place, because this was a case filed against the people I was helping. And so they left it with $430. Now, $430, ain't nobody crying about that, but I'm saying, oh no, y'all don't get to do that. We're not going to play that little just for the sake of things game. No, you idiots are going to sit up here and you're going to do this the right way. So I filed an appeal. The appeals court demanded we do a fee waiver. So I did a fee waiver. I amended their stupid fee waiver. I got rid of anything called an application, because when you do an application, you're submitting to their jurisdiction. You're applying for a subscription for a license from those idiots. So I called it presentment. Then I took out all the other language that talked about submitting anything, and under penalty of perjury of the United States Constitution for America, that's my penalty of perjury. They don't like that, but they couldn't dismiss it. So what the judge decided to do is he says, well, you know how to get around this. I'm just going to deny them. I'm going to say what they put before the court was gibberish. So this was my response. The court has responded from a position of ignorance, and it is directly disrespecting the United States Congress. What? Yeah. It has referred to the United States Congress official statement of March 9, 1933, and it's supposed to be that gave extraordinary powers. Let me change that. That gave extraordinary powers to the president or executive branch of the United States as gibberish, because that's what we were bringing up. I said, this court has stated that the fact that we are currently in a national emergency whereby all normal banking activities have been suspended, and I have to do this, so I'm glad I'm doing this while I'm doing this video, because we can correct it all. I didn't proofread it. I basically gave it to the guy and said, hey, send it in, because I'm not worried about them. Okay? It has, meaning the court, made the statement that the use of its own case law purports to gibberish. See, it was saying that our stuff was gibberish. We're using their case law. We're using their junk. So it's saying it's gibberish. So I'm agreeing with it. I'm just asking it to clarify that it can make a determination on a presentment or presentation prior to the application of due process. This court has stated that one does not have the right to access justice. This court has stated that one does not have the right to access due process. This court has stated that it needs for another party to advise it of its duty, and that it can, by reviewing the record, and yes, the court has indicated that it has reviewed the record, see where the lower court erred in allowing a matter in one jurisdiction to continue while the same subject matter was being prosecuted in a different jurisdiction with the same parties, and it doesn't see the faulty process and such. I gotta put with the same parties. Uh-oh. Okay. The court practices commercial business, and it says that anyone bringing up such or challenging the jurisdiction of the court based on such is gibberish, not as gibberish. So, you know what? The other one was as gibberish. It should be is gibberish. Got to change that. No, I'm not going to spell parties any other way. This is a legal document, so parties are spelled that way with the apostrophe S, not with the IES. I did that on purpose. I know some people don't know these things. I apologize. All right. The court is supposed to be a place of duty, honor, respect, and strict adherence to the principles of law, and yet it is a military tribunal masquerading as a civilian court. So what? The Attorney General in 1925 said that the president authorized the gold French flag to be flown under his military capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the United States Naval and Armed Forces. See, the Attorney General opinion respecting the gold flag. Let's do that. Let's see if we can do a quick Google search. I may have to pause y'all so I can do it because it might take some time. But we're going to do this real quick. Come on now, where you at? 1 second, y'all. Be right back. It ain't gonna take that much longer. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna try to finish this. I'm gonna try to do it very, very, very fast. So because I got to go to get some rest, to go lay down, to go and take care of my own business. But while we're doing that, again, SATCOM programs, I just want to show you one thing that SATCOM will be doing in the future, very near future. Okay. First of all, they stop the SAT packs. Stop the SAT packs! Stop the SAT packs! Anyway, they stopped the SAT packs. Why did they stop the SAT packs? Because we wanted to lock in the benefits for the SAT Pack 1 and 2 that were already there. The SAT Pack 1 and 2 persons, clients will be having additions added to their SAT Pack. We won't tell you about that just yet, but you'll get some notification, okay, as to what we gonna be adding. When I say we, I mean they will be providing that for y'all. Okay, I got my own organization to run. What's your organization, Sitcom? You got Sitcom? Sitcom. That's right, Sitcom. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, they explain what's coming up with the SAT Pack program and how we're adding 2 more SAT Packs. That's right, 2 more SAT Packs. They're going to be called SAT Pack Plus, SAT Pack Prime. SAT Pack Plus, SAT Pack Prime. SAT Pack Prime, that's the senior. SAT Pack Plus, that's the junior. SAT Pack 1, that's the so-called freshman. And, oh, I'm sorry, sophomore. And SAT Pack 2 is the freshman. I apologize, y'all. All right. Anyway, now, with the SAT Pack Plus, SAT Pack 1, SAT Pack Prime, what you all don't know is there's one more program that we ain't talked about. Do y'all want to know what that program is? Sure, we want to know. Okay, I'll tell y'all what that program is. See? Powerful freshman package. It's the Credit Corrections SAT Pack. There is a special SAT Pack program at the Credit. Come on, Credit Corrections. My mouse ain't working. It don't want to work. Okay, there we go. I need Credit Corrections. Credit Corrections. Can I go to Credit Corrections right now? We're going to go to Credit Corrections. Oh, by the way, this section right here that I just clicked on saying we're going to go to Credit Corrections. The program everyone's been waiting for. Need help with child support? That's right. We are going to be doing what we said we were going to be doing from the beginning. This won't pull up right now, but I needed to pull up this one anyway. And this one doesn't look like it pulled up either. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Oh, my internet is not connected. So hold on. I apologize for that. I even relocated to a different room. Uh-oh, got to stop that. Yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I have my voice recognition on. See that thing right there? That's the voice recognition. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the SAT Pack, the Credit Corrections Department, there is a program that we're going to be starting at SATCOM, and that program is the child support program. See, child support and the assistance we plan to offer. It's not being offered yet, so please don't email them or fax them or text them or anything else, ladies and gentlemen, because they are not ready to help with that at this time. You will have to be patient, okay? However, that all sounds great. What do I need to do? Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, we have at SATCOM an 800 number. We've had this number for almost a year now. We just don't have the staff to man the line, so it will not be until January until we have the staff to man the line to take care of those things for people. So this is so you all know. There will be videos that will be done shortly on the SATCOM 911 website on the media section that will explain everything as time goes on. Okay? So there you go. We gave you that little short update. That's a plug for SATCOM. Oh, he plugging? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the part we want to talk about. We want to talk about what's with the gold fringe on the flag. I'm looking for there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's it right there. Okay, I need the placing of the gold fringe on a national flag. That's the part we're looking for. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, most people who read that quote, many of them got it, but many of you did not get it. The gold fringe on the flag is proof that we're under military rule. Now, how can we prove that we're under military rule? Well, if you all will take the time, SATCOM has what's called the Sapphire newsletters, and I believe it's going to be, I got to stay on this side. I believe it's going to be August. So we're going to go to the August section, okay? And hey, it is August. Is the United States under military rule, i.e. martial law? And so basically what it does is it takes you to the actual archives of Congress, okay, that for the past 60 or so years, we've been under emergency rule. And they will tell you about how in checking the growth of executive power and returning the United States to normal processes, okay, that's a couple of videos showing all this, but the whole idea, whenever you hear the president say something about national emergency, they're talking about the military rule, the March 9, 1933 Act. Okay? Nothing has changed. This one, we changed that. That's supposed to say something else. I'll have to fix that. So I'll be taking care of that shortly, y'all. All right. Anyway, the fact that we're under military rule, let's see if the Attorney General for the United States did not say the same thing in 1925. Let's make this bigger. I think that's big enough. We can do that. Okay, let's go here. Okay. 1979, the flag is trimmed on 3 sides with a fringe of gold, blah, 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 is not to be carried by anyone except units of the United States Army and the U.S. Army Division Association. I didn't say this. You just have to go and read that. I've never seen this site before. Okay, I'm looking for the Attorney General words, and this is 34 Opinions, Attorney General, 483, 485. Notice what he said, the Attorney General at the time. The placing of the gold fringe on the national flag, the dimensions of the flag, and arrangement of the stars in the Union are matters of detailed, not controlled by statute. In other words, there is no statute authorizing the American flag. Flags of countries are military flags. That's why military ships and vessels flew flags. People, don't you understand? A flag is always military. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Anyway, but are within the discretion of the president as commander-in-chief, a military position of the Army, a military division, and Navy, a military division. Ancient customs sanction the use of fringes on regimental colors and standards, but there seems to be no good reason or precedent for the use on other flags. The use of such fringe is prescribed in current Army regulation, blah, blah, blee, blee, blah, 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 blee, blah. Okay, so when you see that flag being flown in the courts are military. Hold on, I need this. You know why I need this? Because of I'll do that one too. I don't want to do everything because they're going to say I copied and pasted from the internet. And guess what? I copied and copy. and paste from the internet. Where's my Microsoft Word doc? This one right here. So what I do is this, get that, and yeah, we'll do that. Do that right there. This is the main part, that Attorney General opinion. That's the part that I need. Okay? Yeah, that'll work. All right. So the placing of that globe fringe, remember, when the president is in the role of commander in chief, he's no longer acting as president. He's acting as the military leader. He is higher than an admiral, higher than a colonel, higher than a whatever. Okay? So that right there is enough for us to challenge the court's jurisdiction, which we were doing. Okay? Then we told him about the Senate report and about what the United States Senate said. Notice what they, I didn't see that before. Oh, that's because I just added that. Dags nabbits. Let's see if we can get it to go down. Okay. All right. Let's see. It says, since March 9, 1933, the United States has been in a state of declared national emergency. In fact, there are now in effect 4 presidentially proclaimed states of national emergency. Now there are more than 28. In addition to the national emergency declared by President Roosevelt in 1933, anytime they declare national emergencies, we're under the March 9, 1933 Act. There are also the national emergencies proclaimed by President Truman and on December 6, 1950, during the Korean conflict, and the states of national emergency declared by Nixon on March 23, 1970, and on August 15, 1971. This was 1973. This was the case. In this court, saying the aforementioned is not true, and we have not been in a state of declared national emergency since 1933. On the basis of the committee's findings and recommendations, Congress in 1976 enacted the National Emergencies Act. The act repealed several statutory delegations of emergency powers and, in addition, imposed a number of controls on the president's exercise of emergency powers as follows. With one pertinent exception, it terminated all powers, authorities possessed by the president and other officers and employees of the federal government or any executive agency as a result of the existence of any declaration of national emergency in effect on September 14, 1976. The Senate Special Committee had found that not only President Roosevelt's 1933 proclamation, 2039, of a national emergency, but also the proclamation of President Truman and 2 by Nixon were still extant. Why? Well, apparently they're claiming that they got rid of it. No, they didn't. There was an issue that they, let me show you guys that so that you get it. Oh, that was not the right one. I want to go to this one. Let me show you. Let me show you the way. Okay, no, this is not what I want. I don't want this one either. Where's that section? I think I may have closed it. Dag nabbit. I think I closed it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get rid of this gold fringe flag thing. Okay, because that's all I wanted from that. I think I shut down that window, so give me a second. Let me pause, y'all. We're going to be back with Al in a minute. Okay, this is what I was looking for. I did shut this page down because, well, I didn't like the idiot who put it together, but he actually did us some justice. All right? Set my heart free, yeah. Oh, what a feeling. Yeah. Feel it. We can go to extant. Okay, now we already talked about the extant part. Now, let's talk about, there's only one time it says to use the word extant, but I'm looking for the reason for the wars that they, where is it? No, State Department. That's what we need. Okay, now I want you to pay attention so that you guys get it. I'm just going to copy and paste this into our document because I love playing games with these idiots. Sorry, we have to do the normal. Okay, gotta do that right there. And whatever happened to Chingy right there? Anyway, we're gonna do with the advent of the Cold War, that sanctions had also been used by the executive branch as a legal basis for imposing economic sanctions on the communist nation of North Korea, Cuba, China, North Vietnam's. At the time of the National Emergencies Act was enacted, let's do this. There was no basis for continuing sanctions. There was no legal basis for continuing sanctions against these countries because the only way the president had the authority to do so was under the National Emergencies Act. So in order for them to be able to continue sanctions against those countries, as a consequence, the State Department asked that Section 5B be excluded from the National Emergencies Act until legislation providing a basis for the continuation of economic sanctions against these countries could be enacted. What am I trying to say, ladies and gentlemen? They're saying that this is gibberish when we are bringing this up. And so what they're saying is that Congress is gibberish, because these are Congress's words, not mine. Yeah, we're going to bring you down too. All right. First and necessary step was to bring together the body of statutes which have been passed by Congress conferring extraordinary powers on the executive branch in times of national emergency. Then we'll bring this back up. Don't want to do that. Want to keep it like that. Okay. There has been a most difficult task. Nowhere in the government, in either the executive or legislative branch, that there exists a complete catalog of all emergency statutes. Many were aware that there had been a delegation of enormous amounts of power, but of how much power, no one knew. We definitely got to bold that, because we got to highlight that. In order to correct the situation, the special committee staff was instructed to work with the executive branch and the Library of Congress, acknowledgeable legal authorities, and compile the authoritative list of delegated emergency powers. Okay? Emergency does not create power. Emergency does not increase granted power or remove or diminish restrictions imposed upon powers granted or reserved. The Constitution was adopted in a period of grave emergency. Its grants of powers to the federal government and its limitation on power of the state were determined in the light of emergency, and they are not altered by emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, I got this from Anna Vohoritz's website today. Didn't even know this existed, but I already knew better than that. I already knew that Congress could not grant any power to the executive branch, and the executive branch could not assume any more power than it already had. What they did was unconstitutional. Okay, is this court saying that Congress delegated its authority to the executive branch? Then it is acting, it's supposed to be that it is acting, that it is acting under its authority as delegated by the Constitution? That the Constitution specifically authorized Congress to delegate authority to the President of the United States or the executive branch while acting in a military capacity? The court said we were bringing gibberish. So I said this body is expressing that the following is gibberish, and that judicial officers and the judicial bodies brought disrepute upon the court and the craft. Is this the correct understanding? See, we use their own case law. So he said what we put together was gibberish, so I guess the very own case law of the courts is gibberish. You know, about how judges enforcing statutes or not enforcing law, that they have no judicial power. Okay? That the judge is acting in an administrative capacity. that where a person is not at the time licensed, neither the agency nor any official has any jurisdiction over said person to consider or make an order, they need jurisdiction. Okay? They need a license. That's why you don't do applications, people. You amend that PDF and change it to presentation. You don't want to be applying for no license. That's why we told you put void on the junk. The judge ceases it as a judicial officer because government principle of administrative law provides that the courts are prohibited from substituting their evidence, testimony, records, arguments, rationale for that of the agency. Additionally, the courts are prohibited from substituting their judgments for that of the agency. Administrative law. This is what the courts are operating off of. All appeal courts are administrative courts. That's why they only have superior reviewing power. Judge who becomes involved in enforcing mere statutes, criminal or civil. You know, K.C. Davis was no bum. This was a scholar, a legal scholar. And no one could challenge who he was in 1965 or 1977. See, 1977. See, 1965, nobody could challenge him. That's why he could publish what he published. That's why it's published in Westlaw. There are supposed courts becoming courts of limited jurisdiction as mere extensions of the involved corporation or agency for superior reviewing purposes. That's why you will hear the appeals court says that they are reviewing the record. That's all they can do because they're administrative. All right, and this is an appeals court that we're dealing with. And that this body is not, this is supposed to be, and I was supposed to change that earlier, an agency that is engaged in the corporate offer to contract. Let's highlight that. We're gonna highlight that because that's what the, not Minnesota, what's my quote, y'all, that New Hampshire, that's what the New Hampshire entire state government said. It says it is an elementary rule in pleading that a plea to the jurisdiction is the first step in the order of pleading. That's what gives the stupid court jurisdiction. You don't ever want to enter a plea or let anybody enter a plea on your behalf. They cannot subject you to their jurisdiction without your voluntary subscription to license. It is impossible to prove jurisdiction exists absent a substantial nexus with the state, such as a voluntary subscription to license. That's why you make an application. That's why you go and you apply for a driver's license. Okay? No, this court is being very, very, very disingenuous. You are bringing forth presumption upon presumption, and somehow such is permitted when you have not rebutted any of our. It is not supposed to be government. I know it's incorrect. I always put the D there. All right. Is it the position of this body that we do not have a right to question it? The reason we are asking questions is because we need to understand the venue, the surroundings, the jurisdiction, and thus we have had several jurisdictional questions, especially on the issue as to whether or not we are under executive rule, military rule, or constitutional rule. So this court will have to specify what form of currency it wishes to have tendered, since the United States Department of Treasury has been given authority to regulate currencies of the United States by allowing the creation of book entry credit, which is an acceptable form of currency for the United States. I will issue the following book entry credit. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, don't say I ain't never done nothing for none of y'all. We got to get back to our book entry credit thing. Hold on, y'all. Now, we want y'all to understand something. Go back and look at the Credit River case. Forget about whether or not Credit River was this or that, or whether they say this or that. Don't worry about that. Go back and look at the Credit River case. Look at the testimony, the sworn testimony under oath by the bank. Mr. so-called Morgan of the bank. Look at his sworn testimony and look at the fact that the court said that the representative of the bank was one and the same with the Federal Reserve Board. The Federal Reserve. That they were one and the same. So he was speaking on behalf of the Federal Reserve when he said that they use book entry credit and it didn't exist prior to their creation of book entry credit. Okay, now hold on. So this court will have to specify what form of currency it wishes to have tendered, since the United States Department of the Treasury has been given the authority to regulate the currencies of the United States by allowing the creation of book entry credits, which is an acceptable form of currency for the United States. I, myself, EON, will issue the following book entry credit coupon as my tender of payment for the fees for services for the court, but I still hereby raise my objection to such a demand during this national emergency whereby all banking activities, gotta put normal, NORMAL, normal banking activities have been suspended. It's the Proclamation 2039. It suspended all normal banking activities. Okay? As long as the emergency is existing, normal banking activities have been suspended. Go back and read it. And where the Treasury has documented the legal tender in the form of Federal Reserve notes have no value. Federal Reserve notes are not redeemable in gold, silver, or any other commodity and receive no backing by anything. This has been the case since 1933. The notes have no value for themselves. I took this directly from their site today because it's still up there. The United States Treasury of the executive branch of government, as stated, that it's supposed to be has stated, don't want the H to be capitalized, that I am indigent. Okay? That I am indigent. This court and agency for the very same executive branch acting in an administrative capacity has stated that despite such indigency, gotta put that there, that I have access to funds, that I have value in the current understanding of lawful money. What form is this? Could you please specify? The state of New Hampshire says that such is not gibberish. For their entire state government, all three branches have placed on the public record that government offers contracts to citizens on a daily basis without their notice, without their understanding, without their deliberate, intentional, and knowing consent. So we put the New Hampshire stuff here, where it talks about the offer to contract. It's a corporate offer to contract that's done by governmental entities all the time. How do we know? Because the Department of Safety is limited to, Department of Safety is limited only to commercial users on the public ways. That the corporate state employees, gotta highlight that, y'all, gotta highlight it. We need that corporate state employee thing, okay? Because that's what the courts are. So we go on to explain, you see, this court responded, but it did not respond to a single question directly. You have something to hide. Are you attempting to continue to perpetuate a fraud which is causing injury to the innocent? Because one of the elements of fraud is injuring an injured party, an innocent party. Tender of payment in the form of book entry credit. This is what y'all been waiting for, so here it is. See, aren't you glad you waited till the end of this video? Because I'm doing one more after this. This is the book entry coupon that I'm sending to the court. Okay? Pay attention. EON, a foreign estate, EEON'S a trial. United Nations Convention on International blah, blah, blah. Okay? And remember, make that at least 26 digits long. 26 digits long. Serial number, make it at least 26 digits long. You got to put the date. So, name and address, add foreign estate. Got to put foreign estate because this is the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. You got to put foreign estate. Doing it under international law, not that little civilian law. Military jurisdiction people, international law. Military jurisdiction people, international law. Sorry, some of you will get it. Doing a video tomorrow that we'll be putting up at the same time as this video that's going to explain everything that's been going on and what we're doing to protect ourselves. Okay? All right? Got you. Good. All right. We just added this ship thing to give it some flair, some color. Well, anyway, book entry credit coupon. That's right. You don't need to have funds in an account for a coupon. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't even know how that happened. I was trying to just center this, and it just doubled and jumped and everything. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be going to United States Federal Court of Appeals, Office of the Clerk, without recourse. Remember, it is always paid to the order of the name of the party without recourse. As we told you, the without recourse goes on this line, does not go down here by your signature. This is the endorsement. Paid to the order of is the endorsement. So the endorsement has the without recourse, and you pay it to the name of the party. Okay? I know. Isn't that amazing? I know, you just learned something. $700 in the form of book entry credit on account. Presented with clean hands. The amount indicated in the payment is fees for service of the United States Court of Appeals. The court has determined that this payment, or it says, has demanded this payment, or it says it will deny my access to the court. I am providing this payment to the court under duress. I recognize that the law, as mandated, permits the use of book entry of credit as a means of payment and is recognized currency in the United States, and look forward to hearing from the court so that we can contact a member of the Federal Reserve Board or a banking institution or the United States Treasury to explain in detail how financial institutions utilize book entry as a means of currency, as in the case and the issuance of the loan for the property that is a subject matter of the lower court. Okay, so they use book entry credit to give the loan for the house that the court is saying was a legitimate loan. So if they can use book entry credit, you better believe I can use book entry credit. That's why I'm gonna use book entry credit. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep telling you, I live by the if they can do it, we can do it rule. I know you don't need a special license to do what they do, because they cannot turn a right to a privilege. You have a right to access the currency. You have the right to engage in commerce. Congress only regulates commerce, but there is no law that can prohibit or restrict you from engaging in commerce. You cannot engage in commerce for profit or gain without complying with the statutes, because Congress gets to regulate your gaining a profit. But if you're engaged in commerce and you're not making a profit, there is no regulation that they can create, and they know it. They don't give me the same argument. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't come at me with the same arguments they come at you guys with. When I am doing what I do, you better believe they don't come at me with those little silly, little stupid points, because this is how I respond to them. I don't mind jabbing in their eye. So let's see. No, we done covered everything else. And all right, that's it. So this is what I wanted to let y'all know, so that y'all could understand, so that y'all could see, so that y'all can move forward with some of your cases, especially those of you who are going through foreclosure. Give the bank back what they gave you, book entry credit, and let them tell you that you don't have the right to do that. Explain it in such a way that they understand. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. I think there was one more thing I wanted to explain to all of you. Oh, we had some people complaining about the newsletter portion of our site, saying that it was too difficult to read, and they were right. It was just the way it reacted with certain web browsers. So if you can see, now it's readable. That's just one. You ain't showing us no other one but that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the point. We don't have to show y'all no other one. So let's see. The only thing that I can do. Okay. These are the newsletters. As you can see, readable. And these links, you can click on them and they work. Now we got one more thing. Then we're going to end this video because I got to go get some rest. I've been really... Oh, now this hasn't pulled up all the way, but it will in a second. Hold on, let me pull this. Do you like this right here? we added that. I thought that was a nice little touch, and I know some of y'all agree. Okay, our goal in this productive work, cognitive, informative. Anyway, this was the December newsletter, so you'll see some of the other articles will present the same type of feature. Well, it will put the words there. Okay, so there it is, the newsletter, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you can't click on these. You see how I got these? You can't click on these. These are not clickable. However, if you go to the download section, okay, this is the welcome to our download and documents page. Ladies and gentlemen, we've added the proprietary information section and the privacy policy, which is simple. It's a basic privacy policy that we're not going to be divulging anybody's information, nor are we going to be collecting anybody's information and selling it or giving it to nobody. Even though policies, disclaimers, and all that are subject to change without notice, SATCOM as an organization is never going to take advantage of anybody, ever, because we don't want it done to ourselves. Why would we do it to anybody else? We're not selling your information. Those other companies who put that information up there, they're selling your information to other companies. Temporary download file access instructions. Because of the security features, you see that lock right there? That's a security feature, ladies and gentlemen. It's called SSL. It makes our website a secured connection. With that SSL code for websites, we are needing to create another code for our download folder. This is taking more time than we expected. We apologize for the inconvenience. We hope to have the problem resolved soon. Ladies and gentlemen, now that I'm able to take a break, I can now focus on that because I'm the designer and the web team for SATCOM. I am the one who is working on the website, and it's just me. So with all the other things I've had to do, let me explain. It has not been easy. Please understand, private law arbitration files. That's going to be the next video, but when you click on it, we put it so that you can get to the documents this way. Just click on it and they'll download. I don't need to download them again. I already got them. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, you can even click on the name and it will take you there. Now, some of them will bring you to a dead end. Why? Because the access to these folders actually is not as secure. So it will automatically block you from getting to this section. But I want to know what's in those files. I know. So what we did is we did this. Totality of files. You mean that's a whole list of? Ooh, that's a list, all right, buddy. But this ain't all of them, but this is the majority of them, ladies and gentlemen. That would bring some benefit to some of you. Okay, we will be working on this. We don't have, if you all will please take a look at the site, there is not much more that needs to be done. It is complete. There are some spelling issues, some really minor spelling issues. And the page that I was on that didn't say what we needed it to say, but we're okay with that word, those words that we need to amend. We'll take care of that some other time. Right now, we just want to let you guys know about the programs and the information on the site. I would say if you're interested, visit the site, take a look. But I thought you said you and SATCOM, y'all ain't the same, and EON channel ain't SATCOM. That's right, we're not the same. I'm only letting you all know because many people found out about SATCOM through this channel. So I'm letting you know what they have done and what they are doing and how they are trying to really work hard to put things together for you all. So much so that they have introduced all of their SATPAC members, not mandatory. If an individual wants to opt out of any program, they can opt out. SATCOM has no mandatory programs. All right. Once an individual says, I don't want to be a part of that no more, y'all, I know, then we just say, fine, no problem. We even tell people, I think you should reconsider because it's for your benefit, not for ours. Well, I don't want nobody selling my securities. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had people say things like that. SATCOM is not selling a single person security. We have not sold, nor are we intending on selling a single person's security. We are trying very diligently to put forth the revenue so we can fund, in other words, back every single security that we are holding in trust. It's called the Securities Acquisition Trust Commission, not the Securities Acquisition Selling Commission. We are holding individual securities in trust. All of that information is explained. SATCOM is not trying to get people out of the system. Wait, hold on. What you mean you ain't trying to get people out of the system? That's the only reason why I go to SATCOM is to find out how to get out of the system. Ladies and gentlemen, the next video we'll be talking about the private law arbitration files and what we have been doing to help some of our clients at SATCOM. But I'm going to explain a little bit more detail so you'll be able to understand what you can do to help yourself. I cannot give you all of the steps. Understand, because what I did is I took what these gentlemen did and I went through it and I seen the gaps and the possible loopholes, and I've solidified them. I've sealed them. I will tell you some of the understandings. I won't tell you everything that we're doing because that's not the way this works, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give you all the pieces because I have given those pieces to SATCOM. What you mean you gave them to SATCOM? Because SATCOM is a proprietary information organization. Ladies and gentlemen, SATCOM Foundation is a proprietary organization. When I give the concepts and ideas to that organization, I can't share them with you guys because they have ownership of the information as an organization. So I can tell you what I can tell you, but that's all I can tell you. I hope some of you understand. If you don't, then you don't understand integrity because I gave them my word, not you. There you go, Al. Tell them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to bring this a little bit to your attention. We're going to get the other video up so that you guys will know what's been going on so that you can catch up, keep up, and stay up to date with everything. Have a good day. Have a good life. Have a good night. Al Green, take us on out of here. Tell them. Love, baby. Look what you done to me. Goodbye, everyone.